So we are not looking at a university professor, but this is actually a ex-top 100 table tennis player. He's called Istvan, and his family's name is Moldovan.
Yeah.
So people like Trinko Kane might have him present in their nightmares. So Istvan, this is the B75 Hirtshals table tennis camp, and it's just a camp like another camp, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's definitely not. It's something very different. Actually, it's actually a camp that involves a lot of coaches, up to 20 coaches, and involves more than 80 players every week for about 3 weeks. And that means that what is really special about this camp is that Lars, he has this fantastic ability to involve everybody, to create a climate where we actually help each other and learn from each other, exchanging experience and knowledge between the coaches and between the players as well.
How do you do this?
Yeah, we actually have feedbacks meetings after almost every practice, where we actually talk about
what's that feedback?
The feedback is about reinforcing all the good things they do during the practice, and how we coaches, how we think. We give them ideas how to improve, how to learn, where to direct attention during games, during practices, in order to improve the most relevant things. And this is actually what we coaches do. We have meetings almost every day about how we can make it better for the players, how we can reach out to them, and all the time emphasizing that we are actually here for them, and the players are the most important people here, not the coaches. That is my experience of my previous camps, is that coaches think that they are the most important thing on the camp. It's a strange imbalance of power or status. I think we pay much more attention to the players.
And this seems to be very difficult if you invite different cultures, and this camp seems to be focused also around a very big intercultural meeting with Chinese and Scandinavian players, even some players of other countries. So what's this aspect doing in this feedback model, or in this attentive model?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I think this cross-cultural thing is like it's really interesting because it helps you to put your own knowledge in perspective and actually questioning all the time whether your or their way is the right way. We get really in touch with how they teach, what they find really important, and what we find important in the way we teach children here in the West. And I think we have a lot to learn from the Chinese, as well as I think they have something to learn from us. And that is, I think, the very interesting thing here, because you put your own knowledge in a bigger perspective. You start to really wonder, wow, is there other ways to learn and teach children to think for themselves? Because that's actually what it's about. To help children realize their talent, help children to think for their own. And basically, I think the whole camp is about creating a climate where coaches motivate themselves and activate themselves, as well as the players, creating climates and conditions where players can be more independent and just find their own path.
And when you say this, it almost feels like you think there's an urge or a necessity for work like this in the world of table tennis. How come?
I believe there's too much control. I believe the coaches, they are so convinced that their way is the right way, which is a little bit scary. I think if we really want to help people, if we really want to have players or coaches, and in particular players, we have to first find them where they are in order to give them the right if we know we can call it the right knowledge. In order to help them, we have to find them where they are. And I think we have to meet somewhere in the middle. Not my experience is that coaches, they just the coach and player relationship is not it's not a good relationship. It's a mismatch of power. I'm here. I'm your coach. I'm the expert. I'm here to help you, and not the other way around. That the player is here to learn and to find his own path. I think there's a mismatch.
And this comes from you being an ex-top player and a sport psychologist, which means that this is a topic which is of interest, and which makes you work for an ideal. What kind of ideal do you have for the table tennis world, and what's going to change when we would have this approach everywhere and always?
I used to think in my practice. I used to think how practitioner led I am, or how client led my practice is. And that's a good analog, I think, if I want to see how we work here. I think we're far too much coach-led and not players-led practice. We are not really truly interested in how they learn and what they know and their playing philosophy and how much they really enjoy. We just decide without taking consideration of the real need. We have an assumption that our way is the best and just take it or leave it, and it's not gonna work. It's just
what does it create for what kind of players would you like to see when they would have worked in this more ideal approach? What kind of players would we see?
I see players who are really motivated to improve, to develop their game. I see smiling players with a lot of satisfaction, not thinking so much about actually the result, but they thinking about the approach. They think about how to constantly improve and learn, which is actually the result. The result is always a consequence of that process. And I think coaches, they have a tendency to just search for the result, search for these the ranking positions, and they don't think enough about the striving, about actually how to develop players and how to develop individuals. And back to this camp, what I find is that Lars has this ability to create a climate where players find this satisfaction. They feel they are appreciated. They feel that, oh, this is really fun, and I can see they love what they do. And then we're leaving with a smile, everyone from here. So I think as a coach, okay, I'm not really a coach. I'm more like I'm putting my theory into practice, and I find that this is actually what players need. They need appreciation much more, not putting pressure and the demands. Coaches, they put a lot of demands, my way or the highway.
When you You told me that you had did enormous interviews with both Walter and Persson about table tennis, and you must have thought a lot about what you heard from them. Is there a connection between your work in this and meeting them? Is there in your mind?
Yeah, of course. I think I've been thinking a lot about that study because it takes a more holistic approach since they were kids. What really made them to continue? What was their approach? What were they thinking during practice and during competitions? How did they interpret the demands of the environment from the coaches, from the national team, from the world? And of course, there's a lot of they wanted to win a lot. They wanted to win world championships when they were 15, 16, when they found themselves, wow, I can do this. And they went for it, but they used a lot of resources. Almost all the resources went into analyzing the game. What do I have to improve in detail? Okay, this is really important to be good at in order to perform well. So they use a lot of time on that, how to practice, how to improve all the time, and not thinking about the results. The result is always a consequence of how you, about the process.
So even these world-class players had the wisdom to leave this aspect out.
Yeah.
To concentrate on the process.
Yeah.
Which
that's where you develop talent. There is no such thing as talent because it's very much about what you choose, where you direct attention to what you find really important to improve. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. You may have a very big talent in terms of a good ball sense and all that, what we may call talent, but if you don't find the right things to develop, you're gonna stagnate. You're not gonna go forward, no matter how good feeling you have.
Okay, so this is about the right behavior with a good direction.
Yeah. It's
instead of having a blind goal and just picking out the means you need to get there.
Yeah, I believe so.
That's good. I like that very much.
Yeah, I think it's about how you strive. It's about how you strive, the direction, as you say, your approach, and also a bit of menneskesyn. How do you call that? It's about how you see yourself, how you look at yourself all the time. As a person who constantly needs to strive to show the status. I'm like defending your ego. It's like if you constantly go around and think about you're 20 in the world, and every time you go to a competition and you think about that, I have to really defend my position, then you're having a very avoiding approach.
You're not looking for new things and creativity, but you're just avoiding to lose what you have.
Yeah. So you're gonna look at challenges more as threatening to yourself, to your self-confidence, instead of a way to find challenges as a way to improve your game all the time, improving and learning. That's actually a really important way to think. I believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.